is up, MFers? Today we're talking about a little bit of a controversial topic in the sport of bass fishing, and I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, so I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. And the question comes from a post that I just saw on Facebook, and I thought it would just be a good time to bring it up. It's a post by Mr. Patrick Johnson Fishing. Now, Patrick, I don't know who this guy is, honestly. I just got it recommended to me because, of course, it was getting a lot of engagement. And it was a picture of my good friend Lee Livesey. And it says, who thinks it's unfair to let a professional fisherman such as Lee Livesey fish in a semi-pro league? How are the regular guys supposed to compete? I've got some mixed feelings on this, guys, and today we're going to kind of jump into what those feelings are and what I think should be done to allow the working man to compete against pros, and why are pros going down to fish this level of tournaments? Let's dive into it. Now first, before I jump into my opinions, I want to let you know something special is going on right now. Head over to 6centsfishing.com. All the Melican merch is as low a price we've ever had it. These badass racing tees right here, my 402 apparel. If you want to become a member of the 402 Army for the cheapest price ever and help support the team, go hit the link at the top of the description and pick yourself up some merch. I'd appreciate it if you did. You could use my code on it too, MF10. So the aforementioned tournament in this post, let's break it down, is the Toyota Series Championship. Now, a lot of you guys might not know what the Toyota Series Championship is because we have so damn many different leagues and organizations that we have to try to keep up with, and different hierarchies of what tournament goes where and what entry fee, no entry fee. It's a headache. Let me explain it to you really quick. So it used to be the Toyota Series was right here. It was like the AAA level, and then there was the FLW Tour was above it. And on the other side, Bassmaster had the Opens. Right above that, of course, is the top level Bassmaster Elite Series. Things have gotten a little bit difficult to understand with where the Toyota Series sits these days, because once Major League Fishing took over and bought the FLW Tour, now you've had the Invitationals, you have the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit, but as it stands right now in 2026, there is the Toyota Series, and then this last year there was the Invitationals, which will now be called the Pro Circuit, and then there is the top level Bass Pro Tour. So the Toyota Series is kind of the third highest ranking when it comes to entry fee, kind of when it comes to skill level, I guess, but I'll explain to you guys why there was so many Elite Series guys, Bass Pro Tour guys that hopped in and fished these Toyota Series events just in a second here. The Toyota Series, you have divisions around the country. It's more of a regional type series where there's 3 tournaments in each division, and I believe it's the top 25 guys in points after those 3 tournaments qualify for this Toyota Series Championship tournament. So that kind of gives you an idea of what goes into it. Also, I believe it's about $1,500 to $2,000 for an entry fee for each of these tournaments. So far from like your local $80 to $200, $300 entry fee fishing tournament they're going to go hop into at Sam Rayburn or your local pond, whatever you might have around the country. These are a top level event. I mean, really, you look at that entry fee is higher than we pay on the Elite Series now, where it was $10,000 this last year, total for the year for 9 events. So the main reason that all these pro guys that were on the Elite Series and just other high level anglers want to fish the Toyota Series is not, of course, a lot of guys just want to compete. They want to fish as many tournaments throughout the year. And the Toyota Series kind of fits that with the Elite Series because MLF and Bass can't get along and schedule their events together like they used to when it was the FLW Tour and the Elite Series. You used to be able to fish both because they would build the schedule off each other so they didn't overlap. Well, these guys are freaking button heads at the top, and so there's tournaments that overlap on purpose, so they can't you can't fish both series if you did qualify. But the Toyota Series, a lot of times you can pick a division and it lays within the Bassmaster Elite Series schedule or the Open schedule or the Bass Pro Tour, however you want to do it, and it gives you a chance to fish as many tournaments as possible, 1, and 2, the payout on the Toyota Series Championship might be the best bang for your buck in all of fishing, besides this one-off tournament that Tucker Smith just won that might happen every year, might never happen again, we have no idea. Besides an event like that with a $500,000 first place, this event, this Toyota Series Championship, $200 grand to the winner. And it's not a huge field. It is a very stacked field. We'll get into that in a second. But it's a great opportunity for guys to just hop in and fish 3 tournaments in the Toyotas, jackpot a certain division. If you're like Lee Livesey and you're from Texas, you get to go fish, Rayburn a couple times. I think you follow Oklahoma, which was kind of a shithole tournament. But you get to go fish some regional tournaments not too far from home, and then just straight to this tournament if you finish in the top 25 in points. It's almost a no-brainer if you are a pro fisherman and you want a chance to have that 200K payday. What got annoying to me and pissed me off, as it always does, is these type of posts and these types of takes about pro fishermen, top-level fishermen, amateur fishermen. They turn into a shitfest in the comments really quick of the rich man trying to take from the poor man. And let me tell you something, it's the poor man trying to take from the poor man for the most part, because the top level guys are, I mean, we're just not on the level in the sport. I don't know how many times people got to make videos or talk about how there's not much money at the top level of the sport, and I know people love to say, oh, looks like you have a pretty nice house, looks like your boat's really nice, you say there's no money in it, you make all this money. Yeah, I make the large majority of my money outside of tournament fishing. Nothing to do with tournament fishing, Bassmaster Elite Series. I honestly have zero idea how like 95% of guys even can afford to fish the Bassmaster Elite Series. We spent like, I don't know, we didn't do it cheap. We have 2 trucks and an RV and of course a boat and stuff. We probably spent, I don't even know, 60 to 80 grand on travel expenses this last year. Entry fees, of course, are a lot lower now, but I don't know how guys do it. I know what we pay people from 6 cents, which is, you know, healthy, but I know a lot of companies don't pay that well for sponsorship. The majority of companies, I mean, I think people say the average guy on the Elite Series they feel like is getting 40 to 80,000 in sponsorship. That's a big range, but like I just said, I think about the cheapest way you could do it would be $30,000 to $40,000 in entry fees and travel expenses right now. So I mean, how many of you guys are taking your entire, you know, year and having to practice in the off season and pre-practice and do all these deals with boat deals and get your boat rigged every year and deal with that and try to sell it for a couple extra bucks, you know, 10 grand profit most at the end of the year, and then come up making, you know, $30,000 to $60,000 for all that work throughout the year, like the majority of the Elite Series guys are doing. And that's if they are the guys that have that 40 to 80 grand sponsorship. So when you're at the top level, like I have spent the last 2 years, I completely understand why you would jump into a Toyota Series event, 3-event series, and then try to qualify for this tournament, because that's one of the biggest paydays with, I think it's a free entry fee event. I'm not positive on that, but I'm pretty sure it's free entry fee. It makes total sense to me. Now, from the other side of things, there are a ton of events throughout the country that pros and guides are not allowed to compete in. A lot of these big bass tournaments, you're not allowed to compete. I can't compete in those anymore, unfortunately, because I love those events, because that kind of sucks. If you fished, you know, a certain entry fee or higher, or a certain top prize or higher tournament in the last year, you can't fish those. And of course, if I don't fish the Elite Series this year, in like a year and a half, 2 years, or a year even, I'll probably be able to fish any of them that I want to. But that's, you know, that's there for a reason. They don't want the average man that's jumping into a big bass tournament that maybe fishes a couple times a year, or even just a serious weekend angler, to have to compete against someone that's going to be guiding on that lake for, you know, 300 days a year. That's a little ridiculous, and I understand that. Those rules are in place for a reason. That's not just a random shot in the dark for them to say that you can't hop in those tournaments. And again, I don't know if it is the best thing for a pro like Elite Series or Bass Pro Tour guy to go hop in a, you know, 15, 20 boat local jackpot series where guys are trying to get points. They're trying to, you know, make a little bit of money, because most of these local tournaments that, you know, I fished with Zark, and before we got serious about the tournament stuff, most of those tournaments you have to get first place, or else you're not going to make any money at all. And even then, it might just be like cover your trip and stuff, and it's really for fun at that local level. And it is hard to think that like someone that's an Elite Series angler could hop down and fish one of those tournaments. And I do say that realizing that I have done that. But whenever I fish those, if I win or get, you know, a check, I always donate it back to the pot, because I think that's the right thing to do 100%. Now, if I went down and fished, you know, a 50 boat Tuesday nighter at Gunnersville, like we did, or somewhere that's just like incredible local talent that is going to dominate on the lake, then I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing to take the money if you would win. Let me know what you guys think. You know, obviously it's a little ridiculous to say a pro angler should have to go pay $100, $200 entry fee and be like, oh, I'm donating it back to the pot and not keep that, because why would you do that anyways? With me, it makes more sense to me because I make the money from views on YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that. So it's, I don't know, it's like a wash for me. But I just love competing. I love tournaments, and I just wanted to touch on this subject because I felt like going through the comments, there's a lot of people that don't understand really why there is the top level guys fishing these types of tournaments. But to me, you know, the Toyota Series and the Toyota Series Championship is so far from like a local, you know, every working man can jump in style event. It's not like you're going to take, you know, $5,000 or $2,000 in the local jackpot tournament from guys that are, you know, fishing a championship or they're accumulating points throughout the year. You are quite literally, you know, fishing against other top level anglers. Looking at the top 25, simply, I mean, Roger Fitzpatrick, he's been a AAA level guy from the Ozark area for a long time. He won the event. Amazing. Definitely congratulations to Roger. Never met him before, but always heard and seen amazing things about him. Drew Gill, obviously one of the best fishermen in the world. Tucker Smith, again, third, one of the best fishermen in the world. Riley Harris, you know, keep an eye on this dude. He's a 6th Sense guy. He's a local dude. I'm going to go fish with him here in a couple weeks, or I'm going to try to, if I can fit into his busy schedule. But he's a freaking hammer. I mean, you got Chad Mrazek, local guy again, also amazing fisherman. Banks Shaw, very good fisherman, obviously. He just qualified for the Bass Pro Tour, won the points. So many guys. Jack Daniel Williams, I know, is a phenomenal fisherman. You got Lee. You got Greg Bohannon, you got Carter Nutt, Tyler Weber, guys that have been around for a long time. And this is why these guys have jumped in these tournaments to have a chance to win this $200,000 prize. And I don't know, just let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think that pros should be allowed to compete in these AAA style events, or if you're totally cool with, like, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, even if it's a 10-boat local tournament. Let me know what you guys think, and don't forget to go check out some Melican merch. It's on crazy sales right now on the 6th Sense site. Links at the top of the description. I will catch you guys soon. Out of here. Peace!